Hi, everybody. Welcome to Simply Cards by Kathy. I'm Kathy Ondas, and today is Tuesday, December 20th, 2022. We were in the middle of a live, and all of a sudden I was talking to myself, and there was no camera. So I apologize for that. So we are going to start all over again. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I'm so happy you're here with me. If you hit the subscribe button and ring that little bell, you'll get notified when I'm either live or post a new video. And if you're returning, thank you for your support and being with me. I couldn't do this without you. I am going to stop the chit chat. I have a fun project to show you how to create your own gift bags. So I am going to flip this camera over to the desktop, and we're going to start this all over again. Okay, hopefully you'll either catch this on the replay or you'll join me in the middle of this live, and hopefully we can avoid that from happening. I don't know what happened. So we are going to be using two completely different pieces of designer series paper so that we can do this from beginning to end without any interruption. And this is also from the Painted Christmas designer series paper. If you stay with me through to the end, you'll see three different bags, three different sizes, and I'll tell you how to make those also. So all you really need for this is two pieces of 12 by 12 designer paper and your scoring tool. I am going to bring in my trimmer or scorer, and I want to make sure this is flat. And we're going to start scoring. Now, if you have, you can decide which piece you want to use. I'm going to use the greenery and use the other side for my top of my bag. You want to pay attention if you have a pattern to this. And this really doesn't have a pattern. So I'm just going to start working with it because it goes in all directions. So let's start scoring. And for this bag, we are going to score the top of our bag at 2 inches. So let's go ahead and do that. Now, what's important in making these gift bags is the sides and the bottoms all have to be scored the same. So we're going to do 2.5 inches for our sides and our bottom for this bag. So let's go ahead and score this and flip it around. That was the weirdest thing. I was talking to you and I look over at the screen and it's completely blank. So I'm not really sure what happened there. I don't know if it was me or StreamYard or the internet. So I apologize, but we're going to do this anyway. So here's your first piece. Now the second piece of designer series paper, you're going to score the exact same way. So I am going to go ahead and score 2 inches for my top. And then 2.5 for the sides and the bottom. So let's go ahead and do this. And for those of you that are rejoining me, I know you're seeing this for the second time. What do they say? Repetition helps you remember. So, all right, and we're going to flip this around to the last side and do 2.5 inches again. And you want to make sure that, all right, so we're good, and let's get rid of that trimmer. All right, so with the bone folder, I use that to bring in my, make sure I burnish my folds. Now, the 2 inches is at the top, and it's pretty easy. It's hard to see. I don't know if you can see the score lines. Sometimes it's easier if you turn it over. And because I want my 2 inches at the top, I want my design this part to be on the outside, because that's what my bag is going to look like. If you can see that, that's how the bag is going to look. So I'm going to go ahead and burnish this with the bone folder. And then I'm going to flip this back over and I'm going to fold on the side 2.5 and burnish again. And we're just going to keep working around. This is the bottom. And then the other side. Okay. Now we've got to do that on our other piece of paper too. So this is our top. So I'm going to fold this back. And then on our sides and bottom, I'm going to fold these in. Now I'm paranoid and I am watching that screen to make sure you can see me. All right. Okay. So let me show you what this is going to look like. So here's the top of our bag. So this is what it looks like. Now we have two pieces. And for the bottom, we are going to go ahead and we are going to cut out these little squares on the sides. Because that's going to help us fit our bag together. Now, sometimes it's easier to see where those score lines are if you flip the paper over. This one is actually pretty easy to see either way. So now the post to this with the PDF instructions that you can print with all of the measurements will be up tomorrow morning at 10. And that link will be right down below the video. Now, what I want to get a little bit better edge or fit to this, so I'm going to cut this at an angle from the bottom all the way up here to the top. And it's just ever so slight. And I'm going to do this again here. Okay, so there's one part of our bag. Now on the other half, let's find our top here. This is our top. Okay, so this is the bottom. On the other half, we are simply going to cut in to the score line. We're not going to cut that square away. Turn it around. Okay, now this is where I lost you on the last video. So you can start to see where your bag is going to come together. So let's turn this over inside to inside. And I'm going to put it right up to one another. And you can start to see, hopefully, this is how your bag is going to come together and look. So we're going to start with the piece where we cut the flaps. Now I want my bag to have some stability to it. So I have a piece of basic white cardstock, and I think this one is actually the thick. And the bottom here was 2.5 by 7. So I have a piece that's 2 3/8 by 6 7/8. And I'm going to go ahead and add some multi-purpose glue to this. And I want to get all the way around the edges. And this is about where I lost you on the last video, because you can see I have some glue on here. Okay. And then you're going to place this right within those fold lines. And you can see fit, it fits right in there. Okay, and it adheres well. Now, if you're more comfortable with tear and tape, by all means use it. So next, I want to bring my papers together. And I know with the pattern, it makes it tough to see. But you want to match up your edges well. And I also want to match up my fold lines. So I'm going to bring this in. And then I'm going to apply glue to the back side of my second piece of Designer Series paper where I had cut out the squares, and I have the little flap, and I'm going to match these up and get them right up to one another, and then I'm going to adhere it to the cardstock. Okay, so now you can see where our bag is kind of coming together. So hopefully you can see that. So I'm going to lay it down so you can. So what I'm going to do is bring in my two little flaps here, and I'm going to add some multi-purpose glue. And you could use tear and tape here. I'm going to use the glue because it works well for me. I've made about 6 of these bags so far for this Christmas season, and it's worked really well. Okay, so I have my glue on that, and so what I want to do is I am going to bring this in, and hopefully you can see that. I'm going to leave it laying down, and I'm just going to press that in together. And now I'm going to do the same here, where the edges match, and I'm going to press those in. Okay, now all I have to do is bring this over and attach my sides. Before I do that, I want my flaps, 2 things to think of. I want my flaps that are going to go towards the back of my bag and not the front, and I want these to lay down. So I'm just going to put a dab of glue here, and it is just a dab, and I'm going to press this down so that it stays down. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Just going to run some glue along here and press that down. Okay, and now we're ready to put our bag together. So I'm going to flip it back over so you're able to watch me. And I'm going to put glue all along here, and hopefully you can see that. I'm going to go all along the edge and all along that fold. And then I'm just going to fold this up so that my edges meet. Make sure your edges meet. And then I'm going to take my hands, both hands, from the inside and out and press this together all the way down the bag. And I'm just kind of working the top where I had the glue, and I'm pressing that in so that they meet. Okay, now we're going to do the other side. So again, and I know this is hard to see with that there, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm moving it further back so you can see. I'm going to add my glue and go all along the score line and all the way around. I want to make sure I get the edges. And then I'm going to come in here and match them up so that my edges meet. all the way around. And I'm going to go in from the inside and I'm going to press all the way down the side of that bag so that it adheres. Okay, now here's your bag. So hopefully you can see that. All right, I am going to move this up a little bit more so hopefully you can see it even better. Okay, so here's our bag. There's the inside and here's the outside. Now, how do I want to finish it off? Well, I'm going to put a little tag on it. This is from the TaylorMade tags. It's the largest tag. And I'm just going to keep it simple. I am going to stamp, it says to and from, and I actually had this left over from one of the Stampin' Up! Card kits, the Christmas gifting kit. I used it from the stamps that came with that kit. And I'm just going to stamp to and from on there. Let's make sure that that's going to stamp okay. All right. 3 ink. And we're just going to stamp that up here at the top. All right, and I just want to add a little something. So I pulled out the Merriest Moments stamp set. And I pulled out some shaded spruce and some real red. And we're just going to add some greenery and some berries. I thought that would look cute here. So let's go with this here. And then I have the berries here that we're going to stamp. Let's bring those in. And just add those to our greenery. Oops. Let's restamp that and hopefully it'll work because it's a photopolymer and I'll be able to line it up. And I was. All right. Now I want to attach this to the bag. So how am I going to do that? Let me close up my inks. Well, you could use Stampin' Dimensionals and just attach it up here. But I'm going to tie a bow. So I have a punch here, and it's just a plain punch. And I'm going to punch a hole in this. And I already have a hole in my tag. And I pulled out some ribbon that's retired. Use any ribbon you have. This is that real red, I think it was ruffled ribbon. And I'm just going to cut a piece of it. That's what I had left in real red. And I wanted to pick up the color in the berries. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to come in from behind and feed this through. Let's see if we can do this. All right, now we can lay it down for you to see. And I'm going to feed this through here. And I thought I'd just tie a bow. So I'm going to come up over the top. Let's get a little bit more so it's more even here. And I'm just going to tie a bow with my ribbon and then trim it off. Oops. Excuse me. So let's go ahead and there we go. And then I'm just going to kind of straighten it out, and I'm going to work with it here. So I'm going to bring it in smaller and then work with it till I get it the size I want. And this one I want a little bit shorter, and I'm good with that. Let's trim that off and trim this one off. And I'm going to stand it up just to straighten it out. And here's our bag. I'll trim that a little bit more. So hopefully you can see, I know if I stand it up, you don't see it, but here's the bag. Now, let me bring in another one for you to see. Here's another one that I did. This was also from the painted Christmas paper. And this one I did a tag the same way. But look what I did with the tissue paper. I actually stamped it with some of the little decorative accent dots. And I used, excuse me, the poinsettia and some of the holly leaves. So here's another one of the bags. This one I believe is the same size as the one I made. But here's one I used from Retired, the penguin paper. I needed something a little thinner and a little bit longer. So this one is 2 inches at the top, and I added the penguin on the tag. But then the sides are 1.5 and the bottom is 1.5. And it gave me a much thinner bag that I actually am going to slip a little game in there for one of the grandkids. So when you're doing these bags, you can change the size up. You can make the sides and the bottom 3 inches. You can make the top 2. You can do 2 inches all the way around, and it will change the size of your bags. But the important thing is to always start with 2 pieces of designer series paper that are the same size. Here's a little bag for a gift card. This is out of the Celebrate Everything, and it is out of 6x6 designer series paper, and a gift card fits in there perfectly. So 3 different size gift bags, fun, quick to make. I hope you enjoyed tonight's video. I apologize for the loss of the first video, and I will have this posted. If you enjoyed tonight's video, please give me a thumbs up. Feel free to share. I hope you all have a wonderful holiday and Christmas. I hope you have some family and friends to share it with. I will not be doing a video on Friday the 23rd. I'm going to take that day off, and I will be back with you on Tuesday the 27th. So have a wonderful holiday, everybody. Take care, be safe, and Merry Christmas.